Today's episode of DRL is brought to you by Hella Cocktail Company. My guests don't just come to DRL for me. They also come for the cocktails. Luckily, my friends at Hella Cocktail Company have my back. These guys make amazing mixes, from Bloody Mary to Margarita to Moscow Mule. They also make cocktail bitters, my secret ingredient, and now yours too. It's easy to feel like the best bartender in town when every bottle comes with a simple recipe on it. Hella Cocktail Company, bold flavor, real ingredients, hospitality. Mixing it up since 2011. Shop the collection on Amazon Prime or use code DRL online at hellacocktail.co for free shipping. Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of DRL, where we're talking everything dating, relationships, and love. I'm your host, Tennesha Wood. Happy Halloween. I trust you guys are getting dressed up and doing something fun. Me personally, I'm going to be in the house because the way the temperature's set up right now, I'm really not trying to be out of the warmth. I just remembered this thing that happened to me a couple Halloweens ago. This was the Halloween of 2013. I'm going to tell you a spooky story. So the Halloween of 2013, I was seeing this guy and I was really excited about him. This was like my first year in New York. I'm seeing this guy and I'm telling all my friends about him. Some of my friends that lived in San Francisco who were going to be here for Halloween. And so I had a party and all my friends are there. My new New York friends, some of my old friends from San Francisco. And I'm telling everybody about him. Like, he is so fine. He is so tall. He is so this. He is so that. And guess what? He ghosted me on Halloween. He just did not show up at all. I was so embarrassed. To add insult to injury, I had also invited my ex. And I said to him, yeah, so the new guy I'm dating is going to be here. So just so you know, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. All high and mighty, like, I've moved on. Embarrassed. Speaking of ghosting, I just read this article that was talking about the fact that a lot of apps now, like Bumble, are cracking down on ghosting. So what they're doing is they're providing prompts when you haven't replied to a message. It'll say, hey, do you want to reply? How about replying this? You know, sort of like it does on Gmail. So stop ghosting people. It's so rude. I used to do it frequently in my 20s, but I just have realized how disrespectful and mean it is, and it gives people no opportunity to improve on whatever you think is wrong, because half the time they don't even know. So let's be mature and stop ghosting on people. So for today's episode, I wanted to give some dating tips. A friend of mine, Nadine, who's actually going to be on the show in a few weeks, she just got on apps and she's like, I feel like I don't know how to date. I feel like I don't know what's going on out there. How do you date? And I was like, you know what? That's a really good question. And I'm going to cover that. Number one, and this is the most important one, love yourself or no one else will. You have to be 100% good with yourself and get to a point where you're not looking for somebody to fill a void, because that's not what you want. You don't want somebody to plug a hole in your life and then what happens when they're gone? The hole is back. The key is to really figure out everything about yourself so that you know exactly what you're bringing into the relationship and how that's going to manifest itself. If you have traumas from past relationships or your childhood or anywhere else in your life that you haven't dealt with, please believe that they're going to resurface in your relationship. They're not just going to go away. So you really have to identify what those things are and begin the process of healing them before bringing those into a relationship. Number 2, be the date you want to see in the world. Don't be that person that is asking for things that you yourself cannot give or provide. You know, don't be the woman who's like, I want a guy with a 6-pack knowing damn well that you haven't been to the gym in 6 months. Don't be that guy that's, I want a woman that with a PhD that works for NASA, knowing damn well you work at Walgreens at the store, not at the head office. Did you guys catch that Drake line? And he's like, she says she works for Walgreens, but not at the store, at the head office. There's nothing wrong with working at either. All I'm saying is don't ask for things that you're not willing to do as well. And just in general, the more that you emulate the things that you want to attract, the more you'll attract those things. Number 3, leave the house. You have to get out and socialize. And I know that that's really hard when Seamless and Netflix exist, but you really do just have to get out there and be social. There are times where I don't leave my house the entire day, but it feels like I've talked to a lot of people and I've seen a lot of people and I've been really social that day because I spent a lot of time on Instagram or Facebook. That's not real socialization. I really do feel like we're forgetting how to interact with people in person and have normal small talk and normal conversations without the use of emojis or without there being some sort of debate. I think that we're getting to a point where we're actually forgetting how to speak without the use of emojis, like real English. One of the exercises that I will often assign my clients that I coach is I tell them to go anywhere, whether that be a bar, a coffee shop, anywhere they're at. And in their day, they have to talk to 3 people they don't know. They have to start a conversation with 3 people. And the conversation can be with any 3 people. It doesn't have to be with somebody that you're attracted to. But I think this is just a good exercise to get in the habit of talking to people and being interesting and finding something interesting out about them. And that way, when you do go out and you do see people that you're attracted to, it becomes easier to approach them and to have a normal conversation without putting all this pressure on it. The saddest thing I see when I'm out is people at a bar, out of their house, but looking down at their phones and sitting on their phones the entire time. And I think that's because people have actually forgotten how to socialize in real life. So please, I'm pleading with you, put down the phone and have a conversation with the next 3 people that you don't know. I promise it will enrich your day and overall enrich your dating life. The question that I get most frequently is, how do I let somebody know that I'm interested? And my answer is directly. So number 4 is shoot your shot respectfully. The simplest way to approach somebody is to just be direct. So for example, you could go up to somebody that you've maybe been admiring and say, hey, I really like your style. I really like your attitude. I really like the way you do X. I would love to get to know you better. Let's have coffee next week. Let's have dinner tomorrow. I'm not saying that this is going to be a guaranteed yes or have everybody that you like running into your arms because you were direct. But what it does do is it doesn't leave a whole lot of gray area. That means at this point, if you say that, somebody knows how you feel and they can either choose to be a part of it or not. But either way, it provides clarity for everybody and there's no gray area. They know exactly how you feel. A lot of the times I hear people say things like, well, if you go on somebody's social media and you like 3 of their pictures in a row, or you go back, 82 weeks and like one of their pictures, it's letting them know that you're interested or that you like them. I don't speak emoji that fluently, or I don't speak likes that fluently. So with me anyway, like you need to really just be direct as a man. Like we're not 15. Don't speak in likes and emojis. Simply let somebody know you're interested and give them the opportunity to accept or decline. I did an episode on season 1. I think it was episode 3 or 4. I don't remember, but I'll link it on the site. But it was about how guys end up in the friend zone and they're often not sure about how they got stuck there. Well, one of the ways that you get stuck in the friend zone is not being direct. If there's somebody that you're interested in and you're just sort of hanging around being a, in quotes, friend, well, that's the zone that they're going to put you in. Just be direct. People should know how you feel about them and where you stand with them. Don't be weird, just be direct. Number 5, observe and obey the signs. People show us who they are pretty early on, up front. They might not say it, but people have habits and behaviors that really give us a lot of insight into who they are. For example, if you haven't met somebody yet and they're taking 2 days to respond to your text, they're probably not the best communicator. And don't ignore those signs. If that's something that's really important to you and it doesn't work for you to have a text returned in 2 days, that might not be a good fit for you. Make sure that you're observing another person's behaviors and you're also checking in about how you're feeling about those behaviors. Don't ignore how other people's actions is making you feel. You deserve somebody that's going to make you feel good. So if things are constantly happening that's making you feel bad, don't ignore those signs. Number 6, stay in the moment. I remember when I used to date a lot, occasionally there would be a guy who I initially was not attracted to, or I would see him or he would say something and I'd be like, I already don't want to be on this date. And then in my head, I'm like planning what I'm going to wear to work tomorrow or planning my next meal, but just not being present. Even if you decide that this is not the person that is going to be a good date for you or a good partner for you, it's still worth being present and being in the moment because you never know where that person can fall in your life. You never know who they can become in your life. A lot of friends that I've made over the years are actually people that I've been on dates with and it didn't work out on the dating side, but I discovered other really great things about them or things that we had in common and we developed a friendship. So don't be so attached to the outcome that you're missing an opportunity for a really great moment. Number 7, see the trailer, not the whole movie. So what do I mean by that? Have you ever been out on a date with somebody and you knew their entire life story within moments of meeting them and they just spilled everything? There's something that's sort of unattractive about that. I'm really not sure psychologically why that is. We like a little bit of mystery, especially when we're just getting to know somebody. So keep something in the vest. The main things that you're trying to understand about another person is who are you, what do you like to do, and what are you looking for? Those are the 3 main things that you should really be talking about on a date. The other piece of that is that sex is not a part of the trailer. That's more part of the movie. I don't think you should have sex with somebody on a first date. A lot of people disagree with me, but I think it sets the relationship on a course that you may not want. Now, look, you might just be looking to briefly know somebody and have sex, and that's fine too. There's no judgment on that. All I'm saying though is if you're looking to really establish an intimate relationship, I don't think that that's the best place to start. And I see absolutely no harm in waiting. If this person's going to be available for sex today, they're probably going to be available for sex next week. So there's really no rush. Again, not a judgment, but until you establish what the relationship is and where you guys want to take it, what's the point of rushing into sex? My final tip is that you should always be real about whatever you're feeling. So whether you like somebody and you want to see things move forward, you should say that. That's not thirsty. That's just real. If you don't like somebody and you don't want to move forward, you should also say that. Remember we talked about ghosting? Let's not do that to people. There is nothing I love more than when I have been out on a date and a man texts me that night or the next day and says, I had such a great time. I have to see you again soon. When are you free? Like, yes, close the deal. Again, that's letting me know where we're at. It's letting me know where he stands. And I have the opportunity to say, great, I'm standing in the same place. Or that's my opportunity to be honest and say, hey, I don't think that this is a good fit for me. Good luck in your search. That's also really important. And if you want to take it to the next level, you could say, hey, I just thought it was rude that you were a half hour late, and that's not really something that works for me. It's really important for me to be prompt and on time. And that way that gives that person some insight as to why it didn't work for you. And maybe that's something they could improve upon. Maybe it's something they can't. But when we're upfront with each other, everybody has the opportunity to make a choice. I hope these tips have been helpful. Dating is not so scary. Rawr. Sorry, I just keep making weird Halloween sounds. But the main thing about dating, seriously, just have fun. You're having an interaction and possibly a connection with another human being, and that should be a fun thing. So have fun and happy dating. And please reach out to me and let me know what you guys think of today's show at Tennesha Wood on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, wish me love. Hello again, my lovely listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of DRL. If you like the show, be sure to go on iTunes and leave a rating and also write a review. And don't forget to share with your friends and tell them all about DRL. Thank you so much for supporting.